Hi, Professor. I'm Zhaonan Yao from Group F, and today I'm going to present the SFO optimization plan. So let's talk about the context first. There are 2 points. The first is the high competition between all of the 5 airports, and the second is how can SFO reinforce its capability to be an essential in airport industry. And in terms of the needs, there are 3 parts. The first is to enhance the customer satisfaction, and we want to be the top of the ASQ survey in US, and second is to be the first choice of the premium customers. The third is to improve facilities and services based on customer expectation. We have 3 framed questions. The first is that over the 3 years from 2015 to 2017, which of the rating surveys or equipment has the least improvement? And the second is that what are the categories with most obvious polarization in distribution in 2017? The third is that in 2017, what are the categories that passengers with high income most unsatisfied about? And we have the vision about the customer feedback, data cleaning, statistic, and analyze techniques, and point out the insights and solutions. So we come to our first question, and we did a comparison graph of the average rating of SFO from 2015 to 2017, and we find that the service with lowest rate is food and the store. We can see that in 3 years they keep lowering the score, and it shows that the airport is doing really bad at these 2 aspects. And also at a look of the airports that decreased in 2017, that is rental, info up, store art, air train, info down, and food. And we extract the data from question 7. Next is our second framed question. Find the categories with most obvious polarization in distribution. And we find that the cleanliness of food, restaurants, and restrooms with most obvious polarization. And we can see that 6 people rated 1 for food, and 30 people rated 2, and for restroom there are 20 people rated 1 and 78 people rated 2. And we can see the tabulation table. These 2 parts are more obvious than the other. We extract the comments about the restaurants and the restroom. They are: first, bathroom are dirty, not maintained. Restaurants, eating areas dirty, litter not cleaned. And third, airport could use an update, or not dirty but looks dated. Then we take a look at the safety rating, and it's 4.35, much better than the cleanliness. And we can review the comments. They are all positive comments. And so we can see that compared to the total number of each variable, the number of customers who rank the low score is relatively small. And from the question, did you encounter any problems For those who said yes, we extract their comments, and the main complaints are as follows. First, the signs or info boards provided confusing or incomplete information. And second, difficulty finding gate or terminal. Third is that security took too long or too confusing or staff rude. The fourth is that excessive flight delay or cancellation. About question 16, how likely would you recommend SFO to a friend or a colleague? And we put those scores under 5 as the people that they are not likely to recommend. And we see that the people who are not likely to recommend SFO is only 0.016 out of 1, which is a really, really small number. And then we do the ANOVA for the how likely would you recommend as Y, and all of the questions in 7 as X, and we find that the food in the airport is the most important reason that affect customer judgments. And it's followed by the sign directions, information on screens, monitors, signs and directions, artwork and exhibitions, accessing and using free Wi-Fi. Now we come to our third framed question, that is, what are the categories that premium passengers are most unsatisfied about? So how we define the premium customers, we have 2 standards. The first is the people that have income higher or equal 100,001. And second is the flying frequency. The customers flew out of SFO equal or more than 7 times in 1 year. So finally, we extract 271 customers. Then we come to question 16. How likely would you recommend SFO to a friend or a colleague? And we take the people who rank lower than 5 as not likely to recommend, and we find that people who are not likely to recommend SFO is only 0.016 out of 1, which is a really small number. So we can see that customers really like SFO. They have an overall high satisfaction. And we do the ANOVA for take question 16, the recommendation. How likely would you recommend as Y, and all of the rating in question 7 as X to find out that food in airport is the most important reason that affect customer judgments, and it's followed by sign and directions, information on screens or monitors, signs and direction on SFO, and the roadways, and artwork and exhibitions. Last is accessing and using free Wi-Fi. Now we come to our third framed question. What are the categories that premium passengers are unsatisfied about? So we define the premium customers with 2 standards. The first is the household income equal and more than 100,001, and the people who flew out of SFO equal or more than 7 times in 1 year. Finally, we got 271 customers. From descriptive data, we conclude 4 categories that customers rated lowest. They are long-term parking lot, shuttle, airport, rental car center, retail shops and concessions, and information booths downstairs. And from the tabulation, we find out the highly mentioned complaints from question 8 to question 15. And they are too long, and we'll conclude later in suggestions. And also we do the factor analysis about Q7. From this screenshot, we can see that we find the interrelationship of these factors, and we conclude them into 4 factors. The first factor, we name it as transportation. It includes LT parking, rental park, air train roads. And the factor 2, we name it guidance, includes screens, walkways, and sign. And factor 3, as convenience, includes info down, info up, and Wi-Fi. Factor 4, as facilities, includes food, store, and art. And we can see that transportation and guidance are the 2 aspects that passengers pay most attention to. Based on formal analysis, we conclude some suggestions. The first is the transportation improvement that SFO can do. They can improve better performance in aspects of roads, parking lot, and air train, especially long-time parking, and to optimize the flight notification, and to cooperate with airlines to notify customers earlier for the cancellations or delays. And also they should optimize Wi-Fi and charging station to add plugs or places to charge devices. For premium customers who complain about the rude staff, the airport should train staff behaving in more a professional way and supervise them in every few months, and also optimize the access to both rental car counter. And for the security check management, they should add more counter staff and checkpoints, encourage self-check-in and pre-check-in online, and also clear and directional signs. For the cleanliness, they should definitely improve the restroom and the equipment in restroom, and also clean the food mess. Last is the restaurant and store enrichment. That's it. Thank you.